Rushing to pack her suitcase, Sarah thought about how to teach her husband a lesson for his infidelity, and as soon as she heard footsteps, she threw on her coat to dash out onto the street, but suddenly froze in shock upon seeing, "Hello everyone. Put your tasks aside for a minute. I want to share a story that will help you see your loved ones in a new light. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. We hope you enjoy listening." Rushing to pack her suitcase, Sarah thought about how to teach her husband a lesson for his infidelity. Her hands were shaking so much that she couldn't zip it up. Things flew in haphazardly, tank tops with sweaters, pantyhose right over the winter scarf, her favorite robe in a wad. Tears blurred her eyes, and at one point she just sat on the edge of the bed, exhausted, as if she'd aged 10 years in an instant. 18 years, she whispered, staring at the wedding photo on the wall. She and David looked so young, so happy. She in a white dress, sewn by her mum, with a mane of chestnut hair and a figure she'd now give half her life to have back. 18 years down the drain, water dripped in the bathroom. Drip, drip, drip. They'd planned to fix that faucet last month, but they never got around to it. Now they never would. Let him fix it himself since he's so clever, or let his homewrecker deal with the ancient plumbing in the old tenement. Probably that fancy lady doesn't even know what a wrench looks like. Sarah stood up abruptly and started throwing things into the suitcase with fury, as if each t-shirt was to blame for what happened. For 18 years, she'd believed every word he said. She'd cherished their little apartment in the old tenement like the apple of her eye. She'd scrimped on herself, saving for their dream house. And him. All this time She couldn't finish the thought. A new wave of sobs overwhelmed her. Sarah wiped away the hot, angry tears with her sleeve, smearing the mascara she'd put on today for some reason. Out of habit, like a fool. No, she'd cry later in Albany, at her sister's. Right now, she needed to pull herself together and leave with her head held high. Leave him a note. Let him know she saw everything, that she wasn't the fool he thought she was. The phone vibrated on the dresser, buzzing annoyingly across the wooden surface. Sarah flinched, the fourth call that morning. The screen showed Emily. Her daughter was worried. Of course, she'd never missed a PTA meeting at her daughter's school. Even when she was down with pneumonia 3 years ago, she still went. And now suddenly not picking up. Lord, Sarah swallowed the lump in her throat. How am I going to explain this to the kids? What will I tell Emily before her final exams? What will happen to Jake, who's already a handful? Nothing but video games and D's on his report card. She decisively turned off the ringer on her phone. She'd call back later when she was on the train. She'd make something up about an urgent trip to Aunt Valerie in Albany. Say she got sick. And then? Then she'd have to tell the truth, that Dad doesn't love them anymore, that he found someone else, younger, prettier, with manicured nails and no telltale wrinkles at the corners of her eyes. A week earlier, their morning started as usual. The old mattress springs creaked when Sarah got out of bed. 15 minutes before the alarm, her usual time. She loved those quiet minutes when she could wash up, brush her hair, and even sip a cup of tea alone before the usual morning chaos began. In the small kitchen with faded floral wallpaper, they'd promised to repaper it 3 years ago, she put on the kettle and pulled down the tea canister from the top shelf. Just a bit left at the bottom, Sarah noted to herself, need to stop by Kroger, tea's on sale until Wednesday. Outside it was grey and chilly. Late April had turned cold. The trees in the yard were still bare, except for the birch by the playground, where the first tentative leaves had sprouted. Sarah shivered, throwing her old knitted cardigan over her shoulders, the one David called her grandma blanket, but it was so warm and cozy. The boiling kettle clicked off. Sarah brewed her tea and, taking a sip, started mixing batter for pancakes. Today was Wednesday, pancake day for the Johnsons, another of their little family traditions. Half an hour later, the appetizing smell of frying batter wafted from the kitchen. David, as always, was rushing around the apartment looking for the keys to his old Chevy. He'd passed by the kitchen 3 times already, peering under newspapers, in the pockets of yesterday's jacket, and even under the couch cushions. "Sarah, have you seen them?" His tousled head flashed in the doorway. Like a kid, honestly, only the grey at his. Temples gives away his age. You put them on the nightstand yesterday, for sure. Check the top of the fridge, Sarah replied habitually, flipping another pancake. You were getting sausage late last night. Probably stuck them there absent-mindedly. David paused for a second, then rushed to the fridge and triumphantly pulled out the key ring from behind a jar of pickled cucumbers. Exactly. You're like a psychic. They locked eyes and burst out laughing at the same time. Lost keys, a Johnson family tradition as unchanging as pancakes on Wednesdays. Every family has its rituals, Sarah liked to joke when telling her friends at the library. Some binge-watch shows together, some go to church on Sundays. Ours is the daily car key hunt. Smells amazing all over the building. David hugged her shoulders and inhaled the aroma with pleasure. I'm lucky to have a wife like you. You sure are, Sarah lightly swatted his hand. Go wake the kids instead, or they'll oversleep again. Emily has first period, you know. Emily, however, was already shuffling into the kitchen on her own. Sleepy, disheveled, in a wrinkled t-shirt that said Dream, bought last year at the school fair. Their 17-year-old daughter had shot up lately, become really skinny. Sarah often caught herself envying that girlish slimness a bit, but quickly scolded herself. At that age, I weighed 115 pounds too. Where did it all go? Mom, I can't go to school today. Emily flopped onto a chair, propping her head on her hand. We have a math quiz, and I'm not ready. Like, at all. I don't remember a single formula. Not ready at all. Sarah set a plate of pancakes in front of her daughter and opened a jar of cherry jam. But you were at your books until 11 last night. What were you doing? Studying history. We have a history test next week too. Emily half-heartedly spread jam on a pancake. And anyway, Peterson said she'd let me copy. Her mum's a math teacher at another school, but Peterson's sick. Can you believe it? Just my luck. Uh-huh. And you decided to get sick too. David had found his keys and sat at the table, reaching for a pancake. No way, Emily Davidina, none of those tricks. Next year you're applying to college, and you're running from a quiz. Who do you want to be, a great mathematician or a great truant? Dad, I want to major in English. Math's not needed there, Emily grumbled, but started eating the pancake anyway. You need to think with your head everywhere. David winked at his wife. Sarah, how about some coffee? Sarah just shook her head, but obediently reached for the instant coffee jar. Standing at the stove all morning, and it's never enough for them. Jake appeared last, with his ever-present tablet in hand. Their 14-year-old son had become a real headache lately. Bringing home D's, skipping classes, and the backtalk, unrecognizable kid. Teenage years, Sarah consoled herself, happens to all kids, but it didn't make it easier. Morning, folks. Jake yawned like an adult, not looking up from the screen. Mom, I need money for a new game. All the guys have it downloaded. I'm the only loser without it. It's only $10. First, good morning, Sarah said sternly, taking the tablet from his hands. Second, watch your language at the table. Third, breakfast is gadget-free. And fourth, every penny counts, you know that. We're saving for a house. Dad's working overtime so we can someday move out of this old tenement. Yeah, when are we going to save for that house? Jake muttered, slumping at the table and reluctantly pulling over a plate of pancakes. I'll be 30 by then. Sarah sighed heavily. Sometimes it seemed like that house was just a mirage, an unattainable dream. How many years had they been scrimping every penny? 5, 7, and still no progress. Their little two-bedroom in the old tenement was bursting at the seams, wallpaper peeling from the walls, linoleum in the hallway bubbling up, and the plumbing seemed to date back to the Eisenhower era. But with a librarian's salary and a factory engineer's, you couldn't splurge. Sooner than you think, David suddenly winked at his son. I've got news, actually. 2 pieces of news. First, they're promising a good bonus. Second, he paused, smiling at his wife. Tonight, Sarah, shall we look at catalogues? A buddy from a construction firm made me an interesting offer. Sarah looked at her husband skeptically. How many times had there been these interesting offers? One house turned out to be in a flood zone. Another had utilities costing more than the house itself, or they just didn't have enough for the down payment. What, buddy? She asked suspiciously, pouring Emily more tea. You'll see, David smiled mysteriously. I'll tell you everything. Tonight. I need to check a few things first. Sarah nodded, plating the last pancake. This house talk had dragged on for years. The little two-bedroom in the old tenement had become too cramped as the kids grew. The washing machine squeezed into the bathroom so the door wouldn't close fully. The kids' room had two desks jammed together, no room to turn around. And the kitchen. Don't get her started. A shoebox, David called it. Barely fit four, had to eat in shifts when guests came. But we're still going to my parents' cabin on Saturday, Sarah reminded, finally sitting at the table with her tea. We promised to help with the garden. Time to plant potatoes and cover the greenhouse. And Jake could use some fresh air. He sits all day like a pale mushroom in his internet. Ugh, weeding those tomatoes again, Jake grimaced, eating his pancake with sausage. You skimp on a computer, but not on potatoes. Stores are full of them. But we'll have our own cucumbers, Sarah ruffled his messy hair. And jam for winter. Store prices make your heart bleed. A jar of raspberry jam, $3, but with grandma from the garden, just buy sugar. Emily spread jam on her second pancake businesslike. Mum, I'll need money for a prom dress soon. Vicky says her mum spent $80. Imagine, can I at least find one for 50? I looked online. Sarah exchanged glances with her husband. They both thought the same. $50, half her library salary, but prom happens once. We'll find it, Sarah nodded. But hold off on outfits. Pass your exams first. David finished his tea and stood. All right, troops. Get ready for school. Emily, don't freak on the quiz. Solve calmly. Jake, the tablet stays with Mom for now, or you'll be late again. He approached Sarah and pecked her cheek. I might be late today. They're promising the bonus, need to talk to the boss, and some other stuff. What stuff? Sarah habitually fixed his shirt collar. I'll tell you later. He smiled oddly. It'll be a surprise. Just not too long, Sarah reminded. The fridge hummed all night again. We'll need to call a repairman. Need money. Yeah, easier to save for a new fridge than fix this one. David grabbed his worn briefcase, probably 20 years old. That's it, I'm off. We'll discuss catalogues tonight. As he closed the door, Sarah called, Don't forget your jacket. It's cold out. And don't skip lunch. You'll get an ulcer. He waved from the stairwell. The creaky hardwood in the hallway, which they'd planned to replace 5 years ago, squeaked under his steps as usual. Sarah watched his broad shoulders, slightly hunched after the long winter, and sighed. He's such a good guy, caring, attentive, a bit absent-minded. Those endless key hunts are something. But he's hers, familiar, after 18 years like part of herself. Someday, Sarah thought, closing the door. We'll have a real house, with a big kitchen and yard. No creaky floors. A big bathroom for the washer to fit properly. And separate rooms for the kids. And who knew that in a week she'd be packing to leave this apartment forever? And their 18-year marriage would end. Who could imagine that at that very moment, as she homely called after him about the jacket, David was already— No, she couldn't even think the word betrayal, infidelity, lie. Sarah first sensed something wrong 2 days after that pancake morning. That evening, David didn't show her any catalogues. He came back late, when she'd already dozed off to the TV murmur. The bonus came, even a bit more than usual, a full $100. But the house talk fizzled out. Tired Sarah. He sat on the couch edge and rubbed his red, sleep-deprived eyes. Tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow I'll show and tell everything. She nodded understandingly then. Who knows what at work? Rush, audit, boss with new demands. Anything happens. Now, replaying that week's events, she realized that's when she should have worried. But could she even imagine her Davy, her caring, a bit clumsy husband? No, it just didn't occur to her. Then came the call, an ordinary phone call that chilled her inside. Her library shift was ending. Sarah was closing ledgers and checking everything was in place. The old computer hummed laboriously, tallying the day's issued books. Every time filling those spreadsheets, Sarah thought, who needs these reports? 15 people came today. Fine, kids search everything online now, not books. Lisa, her young colleague from circulation, peeked into the reading room where Sarah lingered. Tea? I have cookies. Mrs. Henderson baked them. Finger-licking good. Sure, Sarah nodded, stretching. Just finishing the report. Commission's coming tomorrow and my numbers don't add up. That's when her cell rang. David on the screen. Hello? Sarah tucked, the phone against her shoulder, clicking the mouse. Something wrong. Sarah, I'll be late today. Her husband's voice sounded odd, muffled, like from under a blanket. Eat without me and go to bed. Don't wait. Again? She frowned involuntarily. Third day in a row. What's going on there? You know. He hesitated. New project. Boss demands urgently. We're staying with the whole team. Suddenly, a woman's laugh came through the receiver, close, like someone right next to David. Melodious, with a light rasp. Surely a beautiful woman. Who's laughing there? Sarah asked, trying to sound casual. A pause hung, short, 2 seconds, but Sarah felt her heart skip traitorously. That's... David cleared his throat. The TV, in the break room, some show on. Okay, she bit her lip. When to expect you? Don't know. Late. 11 maybe. Don't wait, really. Sarah hung up and stared at the blank screen for seconds. Something unpleasant stirred inside. Paranoia. Why assume he's lying? Maybe really TV. Or the boss's secretary stopped by. Whatever. Lisa returned with 2 mugs of tea and a bag of cookies. Why so sour? She asked, pushing a steaming mug to Sarah. Problems? Nah, Sarah waved off. David's late again. 3rd day. So what? Lisa broke off a cookie piece. My husband's sometimes gone a week on business. You get used to it. It's not that, Sarah stirred her tea thoughtfully. He's been weird lately. Mysterious calls, promises, surprises, then acts like he forgot. And just now said work crunch, but a woman laughed on the phone. Oh, that doesn't mean anything, Lisa rolled her eyes. Mine spins tails sometimes. Stand or fall, says he's fishing with buddies, leaves phone home. Or late at work, boss calls me looking. Turns out he was picking my birthday gift, didn't want to admit. Guys are like that. Sarah sighed. Maybe Lisa's right. David always a bit scatterbrained, especially with surprises. For her last birthday, nearly left the tablet on the bus. So nervous. Good thing the conductor called out, but still something was off. She felt it with some 6th sense, gut. Home Sarah returned at dusk. April evening was damp, with fine rain trickling down her collar. Cheap umbrella from the subway stand leaked, letting cold drops through. From the stop to home, through the vacant lot and old yard with forever broken lights. Told David, let's take a cab when dark, Sarah thought, shivering. But no, he hates spending, saving for house. Hall smelled of cats and fried fish. Downstairs neighbour, Mrs. Stevenson, always cooked tilapia Fridays. Elevator out as usual, Sarah trudged to the 5th floor, cursing the broken hall light between 2nd and 3rd. Always pitch black there, feeling steps. Home was quiet, empty. Kids scattered, Emily to a friend's, prepping for exams, Jake to a classmate's for video games. Sarah warmed yesterday's chili, turned on TV for background, and wearily sat at the kitchen chair. Been ages since she and David sat alone for dinner. All work, work, kids, errands. Turning 43 soon, getting old. She absently grabbed her phone and opened the newsfeed, scrolling with her thumb. Syria explosion again, dollar rising, new show on network. Mindlessly scrolling, she froze. A notification from the My Calls app popped. Incoming from David, 3:15.23. Weird. He didn't call daytime. Lunch call, yes. Said home late too. But 3:15.23. Sarah frowned. Pocket dial. Would have hung up. But it was accepted. She opened phone logs. Sure. Missed call at 3:15.23, duration 28 seconds. She didn't remember it at all, like it never happened. Her fingers trembled dialing her daughter. Hi, did you take my phone today? No, Mom, Emily's voice surprised. Why? Nothing. Some missed call, don't remember. Okay, whatever. When home? 9, probably. Me and Maggie not done with the essay. Good. Be careful walking, and call Jake. Don't let him linger. Weird. Maybe phone glitch, or she answered automatically. Forgot? Happens, especially with endless to-do list. Buy bread, pay rent, dentist appointment, check Jake's grades online. But a little worm of doubt gnawed inside. What if David called someone else? What if he has another phone? 28 seconds, just enough to answer, realize wrong number, hang up. Lord, what nonsense, she scolded herself, 39 years old, acting like a jealous teen. Guys late at work, talks on phone, means nothing. But her heart ached, traitorously ached, like trying to yell to her mind, "Look closer. Open your eyes." Next day, she first noticed changes in David's appearance. He shaved extra carefully, though Saturday, day he usually had stubble. He smelled not of usual cheap cologne, but something. New, spicy. And the shirt. Where'd that pale blue one with pearlescent buttons come from? Sarah didn't remember buying it. "What's that on you?" she asked, trying to sound casual. "This?" He oddly hesitated. "Saw it in a store on sale. Just $7. Thought, why not?" $7, Sarah noted mentally. For that, only thrift store something decent. But this shirt clearly new, collar starched. "Nice," she said only. "Suits you." "Thanks," he smiled, but nervously quickly. "Listen, I'll be late again. Important talk at work." "On Saturday?" Sarah raised eyebrows. "Since when meetings on weekends?" "Informal," David studied his shoes. "Just meeting potential partners. One guy can help with a big order." "Important, Sarah." She nodded. "What to say? Work is work, especially if money involved. And they need money bad with their endless house-saving plan." But when David came home that evening and pecked her cheek passing by, Sarah distinctly caught perfume. Women's perfume. Sweet with vanilla note. Kind she'd never had. Too expensive for modest library budget. That night she couldn't sleep long, listening to her husband's even breathing, snoring like nothing happened, while inside her everything flipped from guesses and suspicions. Really? No, can't be. Not her David, not after 18 years together. 5 days after that pancake morning, on Monday, Sarah decided to act. She couldn't endure this limbo anymore. Uncertainty killed slowly, draining strength drop by drop, exhausting her soul with suspicions. Better learn the truth, however bitter, than keep tormenting with guesses. Morning David was odd again. Gulped coffee hastily, barely touching breakfast. Said no lunch. "I've got a couple hours free today," Sarah noted casually, buttering bread. "Could swing by your work, lunch together. Been ages since we went out." David froze with cup in hand. Panic flashed in his eyes momentarily. No need, Sarah." He looked away. "Told you, swamped. Probably won't even leave for lunch." "Okay," she shrugged, trying to look indifferent. "Your call." As soon as the door closed behind her husband, Sarah rushed to the closet. There, top shelf, in an old shoebox, they kept documents. She rummaged papers and found what she sought. David's factory pass. Old, worn, with faded photo where he had no grey temples yet. Address she knew by heart. Apex Manufacturing on Industrial Boulevard. The factory where he'd worked all these years. Kids not home, left early for school. Emily some rehearsal before prom. Jake extra physics class. Perfect, Sarah thought, changing quickly. Today she wouldn't go to the library. Today other business. She called work, said sick. Voice trembled, and Mrs. Thompson, the head, believed right away. "Get well, Sarah." Voice really hoarse. "Caught a cold." "Yeah, something in my throat," Sarah lied, feeling guilt pang. In 18 years at the library, she rarely took sick leave, only when kids were ill. Waiting till 11, when David usually stepped out for a smoke in the factory courtyard, Sarah left home. Fine rain drizzled. She put on her only decent coat, beige, bought for her 40th, and tied a silk scarf on her head to save her hair. Last minute, even pulled out old lipstick and touched up her lips. Silly, like she needed to charm someone now. Factory was 40 minutes by bus. Sarah sat by window, absently watching cityscapes flash. Wet poplars with sticky, just-budding leaves, grey 5-story buildings dreary in April slush, rare passers-by under umbrellas. Watched, but saw nothing. David's face from 18 years ago floated before her when they met. Young with dimples when smiling, hair thick, dark, no grey, Eyes same, kind, a bit shy. Features sharpened over years, wrinkles under eyes, but smile same, the one she fell for at the park dance. Lord, how could I be so wrong about him? Sarah thought, fiddling with her purse strap, worn peeling spots. Wanted new long time, but hated spending. Saving for house. Bus jerked, stopped. Industrial Boulevard, driver announced. Her stop, Sarah got off, looked around. Grey factory building loomed ahead, behind high concrete fence. Gatehouse, small booth with ever-grumpy guard Uncle Carl. How many times she'd come here over years. First as young wife, bringing David home-cooked lunches in containers, then with little Emily to show Dad's work. Last time, 3 years ago, when David had a back spasm, needed picking up. But today no gatehouse, they know her, would tell David right away. Better wait outside, by fence. There, in corner between old Linden and transformer box, rusty bench where workers often smoked. Great view from street and rain just stopped. Sarah settled on a nearby bench, pulled out a magazine, pretended to read. Heart pounded so loud, seemed audible, across street. Minutes dragged tortuously. Around noon, workers streamed from gate. Smoke break. Sarah scanned each face, but no David. Maybe different time today, she feverishly thought, or smoking inside, or not at factory at all. That thought burned inside like hot sip. What if he didn't come to work today? What if all this time, while she thought him at factory, he was with her? Waiting more pointless. Sarah rose resolutely, headed to gatehouse, come what may. No more pretending strength. Hello, Uncle Carl. She forced a smile approaching the booth. Oh, Sarah. The elderly guard grinned toothily. Haven't seen you in ages. How's life? The kiddos? All good, she nervously fiddled purse strap. Uncle Carl need to see David. He in? Guard scratched head puzzled. Well, he's been on leave 3 days. Said family stuff. Didn't coordinate? Ground slipped away, vision darkened. Leave, family stuff. No special stuff in their family, except David supposedly vanishing at work. So where was he all this time? With whom? Ah, yeah, Sarah forced smile. We crossed wires this morning. Thought he'd stop by to sign papers. Okay, I'll call him. Sure, call, guard nodded understandingly. He's probably at that office, the construction one. Said dealing with brother's stuff there. Brother? Sarah frowned. What brother? Now guard surprised. What? He said brother came. Twin or something. You not know? What brother, damn it? Thoughts raced in Sarah's head. What twin? David no brothers ever. Only child, everyone knows. Ah, yeah, she nodded, trying normal voice. Just didn't know he'd called David already. Been ages. Happens, guard shrugged. Say hi to Davy. Tell him stop by sometime. Guys miss him. Will do, Sarah muttered, hurrying away. She walked fast, almost ran, not watching path, inside boiled with anger and hurt. Lying, all lies. About work, overtime, now invented some brother, spinning tales, and she, fool, believes, understands, waits. At street corner, Sarah stopped to catch breath. Hands shook, knees buckled. She pulled phone, dialed husband, long tones, 1, 2, 3. Finally answered, Hello, Sarah, something wrong? All fine, she tried calm, though inside raged. Where are you now? At work, of course, his voice tense. Told you morning, crunch with new project. Lie, lie again. Got it, she swallowed lump. Listen, when planning home today? Late, Sarah, don't wait for dinner. Okay, she paused. Take care. All right? You too. Guilt flashed in his voice. I'll try not too late. Sarah hung up, slowly put phone in purse. Tears choked, but she wouldn't let them fall. Not here, not on street where all see. No need neighbors whispering, saw Johnson crying at stop. Hubby cheating. She decided not to go home, not now. First calm, think, decide next. Near factory was Rainbow Plaza Mall, relatively new, with fountain in middle and cafe upstairs. There she could sit, coffee, collect thoughts. Mall greeted with bright lights and voices hum. After damp street, warm, almost hot. Sarah unbuttoned coat, rode escalator to second floor to Meeting Point Cafe. Funny coincidence. Name, Today she might have a meeting too. Meeting with truth, however bitter. Ordering cappuccino, Sarah sat at corner table with good hall view, sipped hot coffee, calmed a bit. Now think what she knew for sure. David not at work, lied about leave, invented twin brother, dresses oddly, new cologne, all these delays, evasions, answer obvious. Another woman, younger, prettier, more successful, one whose perfume smelled vanilla, one whose laugh she heard on phone. Sarah smiled bitterly. Classic story. Middle-aged man, tired of routine, scrimping wife, cramped apartment, creaky hardwood. Craved fresh meat, smooth skin, no stretch marks from births, carefree laugh, admiring glances. She sipped more, coffee cooled, tasteless. Wall clock showed 1:20, soon home. Kids back from school, make lunch, check Jake's homework. And that's when she saw him. A man strikingly like David, sitting at window table, back to hall. But even from back, she'd know those shoulders from 1,000. Same breadth, same slight slouch. Next to him sat a woman, striking brunette about 38 in elegant beige suit. Polished, groomed, perfect manicure and hair. Visible even from here. Sarah's heart skipped, vision swam. So that's her, the homewrecker. Younger, prettier, more successful. Textbook, bitch with painted lips and long nails, breaking families. Sarah stared, unable to look away. Man spoke, leaning to companion. She listened attentively, head tilted. Then suddenly laughed that melodious, raspy laugh Sarah heard on phone. Then he took her hand, brought to lips. Tenderly, almost reverently kissed fingers. Gesture Sarah hadn't seen from husband in years. Ground slipped again, lump in throat, hands chilled, heart pounded like jumping out. Wanted to scream, rush them, make scene, or run, hide from unbearable truth. But Sarah did neither, sat frozen, watching her world crumble, her family, her 18 years' happiness an illusion. With shaking hands, she took phone, snapped photo for proof. Though who to prove? Herself? She saw with own eyes. Sarah stood, leaving untouched coffee, walked out on cotton legs. Inside emptiness, ringing, cold emptiness with no hurt, no anger. Only fatigue and realization it's over. She noted time, 1:25. Time her marriage officially ended. Next 3 days turned torture for Sarah. Like acting in play as unsuspecting wife, cooked dinners, checked Jake's homework, ironed shirts, listened Emily's endless complaints about quizzes and finals. All while inside pain raged, sometimes hard to breathe. David noticed nothing, or pretended not. Still came late, pecked cheek, asked, "How's day?" And casually lied about work delays, important projects, evening meetings. She nodded, smiled, kept conversation, all while seeing that cafe table, groomed brunette, his hand kissing strangers' fingers. Easier if he confessed. Came, said, "Sarah, sorry, met someone." Or, "Don't love you anymore." Or, wanted new thrills. Anything, some honesty. But instead, lies. Endless, exhausting lies corroding soul worse than infidelity itself. Nights she lay unsleeping in their old full bed, bought for wedding, staring ceiling. Wondered how her faithful, kind Davy turned stranger lying without blink. When went wrong? What she do wrong? Maybe her fault. Gained weight after births, never got figure back. Or always in same old jeans, stretched sweaters. Or forgot flirt, be woman, just wife, mother, hostess scrimping pennies. Remembered 10 years ago trip to beach. Vacation saved 2 years. Budget motel in Myrtle Beach, room overlooking next building's wall. But seemed paradise, sea, sun, 4 together. Emily 7, Jake 4. David taught son swim, Sarah sunbathed flipping magazine. Suddenly spread with article 10 signs your husband's cheating. Laughed then, showed David, look what nonsense. He glanced title, joked, 11th sign, wife reads such articles. Now she mentally ticked signs. Appearance change, check. New shirt, new cologne. Secret calls, check. Steps out to talk. Late returns, constant overtime excuses, daily. Matches all, first to last. How blind. 4th day after cafe sighting, Sarah couldn't hold, called mom, needed talk or go mad. "Mom, how are you?" she asked when familiar voice answered. "So-so, dear. Blood pressure acting up, but taking pills." Why call workday? Something happened. Sarah wanted blurt all about David, infidelity, cafe woman, but couldn't. Words stuck. "Nah, all good," lied. "Just missed you." "Don't lie to Mom," Patricia saw through instantly. Voice off. "What happened?" "Just," Sarah faltered. "Tough with David lately." "Tough," Mom alerted. "How?" "He's cheating, Mom," Sarah blurted scared own words, first time said aloud. Made it hurt more, like pulling splinter, wound bleeding again. Silence online, then heavy sigh. "Sure?" "Yes," Sarah swallowed lump. "Saw myself, in cafe with some groomed one, younger than me." Pause again, then calm, too calm voice. "What you decide?" "Don't know," Sarah admitted. "Want go to Jenny in Albany, at least temporarily, think." "Kids." "Kids," Sarah faltered. "Emily graduates this year, heading to college anyway. Jake can come. Or stay with you if divorce David." "Oh, Sarah," Mom sighed. "How long together?" 18 years. Ready cross it all for one, that one. Not her. Sarah felt tears well. Him lying constantly, daily in face, not even trying confess. Talk to him? Not yet, Sarah wiped tear. Can't. Afraid cry or say too much. Kids home. Don't want seen. Listen carefully, Mom's voice firm. Don't go till talk properly. 18 years, no joke. Maybe not all clear-cut. What's unclear? Sarah smiled bitterly, saw him kiss her hands at 1:25 workday when supposed at factory. Still, Mom insisted, talk, find out. Then decide. Sarah sighed. Maybe Mom right, always wiser, more level-headed. When Dad left for young intern, Mom no hysterics, no chasing screams. Packed his things, set suitcase by door. I know everything. Leave. He left. 6 months later returned. Realized mistake. But Mom didn't take back. Betray once, betray again. Stayed alone. But does Sarah want Mom's fate? Proud but lonely, no man's shoulder, no support. Age in her studio with ficus on window and old photo album. No, not that. "Okay, Mom," said finally, "I'll talk. But not today. Need collect thoughts." Hanging up, Sarah went bathroom, stared mirror long, tired woman. With dull eyes, wrinkles at mouth corners, once considered beauty. Guys at park dances ogled her slim figure, luxurious chestnut hair. Now little left, hair thinned, dulled, grey peaking, figure spread. After births, years home cooking, on-the-go snacks. Skin sagged under eyes, dark circles. Wonder how other looks, surely cares self, gym, manicure. Those always money for salons, trendy clothes. Sarah felt envy sting. She'd love self-care too, spoil with new things, look young fresh. But all hit money, eternal, later, next month after fridge payment. Here she at broken trough, no house, no youth, no husband's love. That evening David home early, glowing odd happiness, brought fancy boxed chocolates in pretty wrap. Got bonus, explained, pecking Sarah's cheek. Decided spoil my girls. Sarah barely held back recoiling kiss. How kiss there in cafe, then her. Like nothing. Thanks, forced smile. Look what Dad brought. Emily at computer tore away screen, beamed. Wow, Godiva. My favorites. Sarah brewed tea, got cookies, settled kitchen, almost like old times. Only Jake refused join, muttering homework, stayed room with tablet. How's work? Sarah asked, pouring tea. Steady. David opened chocolates. Project moving, boss pleased. And good news, vacation in July. 2 weeks. Maybe beach trip? Sarah froze teapot hand. Beach. What beach? When crumbling mistress, planning leave, he talks vacation. We'll see, said only. Live till July 1st. Yeah, Emily sighed. Still pass exams, survive prom. All good, David patted daughter's head. I'll help exams. Pull up math. About prom. Hey Sarah, idea. Remember Emily mentioned dress? Remember, Sarah sipped tea. Tea hot, burned throat, no wince. 50 minimum. Here, David smiled. Talk to someone. Anyway, chance rent dress. Very pretty designer. Just $30. Really? Emily's eyes lit. Dad, awesome, can see it. Sure, David nodded. I'll arrange. Good firm, big selection. Sarah listened, inside flipping. Here he sits, smiles, plans vacation, discusses daughter's dress. Like nothing, as if not betraying daily meeting other, as if not destroying family built 18 years. She rose table, citing headache, went bedroom. Lay covered head blanket, finally let cry. Silently shaking body, swallowing sobs so no hear. Cried long to exhaustion, eyes swollen red. Then on sleep-wake edge decided, enough. Enough endure. Enough pretend okay. Enough torment, uncertainty, doubts. She'd talk straight, face, ask about woman, lies, family future. But not now. First think all. First prepare worst, him confessing, saying leaving. First decide live after. Alone 2 kids modest librarian pay. Go sister Albany, work even less there. Ask mom sell cabin, help down payment apartment. But mom only pension cabin. Sole joy old age. Maybe rent room, but live on what? Thoughts tangled, head-splitting pain tears. At some point fell heavy, restless sleep. Dreamed beach, same Myrtle Beach, blue, David young, tanned, little Jake arms, herself laughing, happy, not knowing 10 years all crash. Woke Sarah touched shoulder, David sat bed edge, looked worried. Sarah, okay, asked quietly, face all red. Fever? She shook head silently, no strength speak. What say, no cheating, saw you her. Why, David, why? Sure? He touched forehead, cool palm. Maybe call doctor. No need, she turned wall. Just headache. Pass tomorrow. Okay, he paused. Listen, wanted say, important meeting tomorrow, might late. Meeting, Sarah thought. Of course that one, cafe. Or hotel, or her place. Good, said only. But Friday home early, David continued, voice new unfamiliar notes. And surprise you. Surprise, Sarah thought bitterly. Decided confess, or leaving her. What surprise situation? Can't wait, tried normal voice. Not great. David sat more, like wanted say, then patted shoulder, left room. Sarah lay dark, staring ceiling, listening clock tick, counting minutes crumbling life. 2 days. Give 2 days confess himself, then talk. Come what may. Last straw overflowed Sarah's patience Friday morning. David getting work, usual, hastily finishing coffee, searching briefcase papers. Suddenly kitchen table phone rang. He jerked like shocked, but too late. Sarah glanced screen reflex. Rebecca Hart next name 7:30 morning. Silently handed phone husband. He paled, grabbed, hit reject. This colleague muttered work. With heart, Sarah asked quietly. Inside froze, like ice water doused. Nah, David faltered. It's complicated, explain. Try, didn't recognize voice. Cold, alien. Listen, late. He stuffed phone pocket fussily. Talk tonight, okay? Explain everything, promise. Pecked cheek, dashed apartment, no wait answer. Sarah sat table, staring closed door. Inside empty, no hurt, no rage, not even pain. Like, hurricane swept feelings, left ringing void. Rebecca spun head. Rebecca Hart. Rebecca. Becky, why so scared? If just colleague, what's morning call? Maybe urgent work. But why Hart? Why hard explain? Mechanically cleared dishes, loaded sink. Kids still slept. Classes 11 today, can lounge. Her work 9. Need get ready, brush hair, makeup, pretend nothing. But no strength at all, like all days doubts, fear, pain piled suddenly. Sarah sank chair, covered face hands. No tears. Cried all week. Only fatigue, deadly fatigue lies, humiliating deceived wife position, own blindness, stupidity. Okay, pull together. Today resolves. Today end play. But first survive evening, work library, do chores, no distract later. Evening, kids gone friends, Emily planned movies, classmates, Jake. Birthday buddy she'd talk husband, straight open. At library quiet, almost empty. Friday, always few patrons, all rush finish, head cabins, country. May outside, time plant potatoes, tinker greenhouses, but Sarah this quiet hand, calmly sought new arrivals, fill forms, check discards, mechanical work, no thinking. Perfect now. Lisa peeked her nook between shelves, Sarah stamping new books. Why so glum? Asked, leaning shelf. Still worried husband? Sarah flinched. Lisa only one told suspicions. But before saw David cafe woman, before confirmed worst fears. Yeah, short, not lifting eyes stamp, and nothing cleared. Cleared, Sarah slammed stamp end paper next book. All as thought. Talk him today. Whoa! Lisa widened eyes. Straight ask. Ask. About work delays, her meets. Maybe not scary, Lisa suggested, uncertain. Maybe business? What business hugging cafe? Sarah smiled bitterly. What calls Hart's colleagues 7 morning? What? Calls too? Lisa shook head. Then yeah. Sounds like you know what. Exactly. What do? Divorce. Sarah paused second. Question asked million times days. Divorce after 18 years. 2 kids, no own home, 20 grand salary. How live? On what? Don't know yet, admitted. First talk, hearsay, then see. Right, Lisa nodded. Don't rush. Okay? Guys, well, stray sometimes, especially age. Midlife crisis. Heard? Heard, Sarah stamped last book stack. Doesn't help. Listen, maybe talk her, Lisa suggested suddenly. That other, crazy. Sarah looked up. Why? Learn what's between. Maybe not think, maybe just, dunno, business partner. Business partner kiss cafe. Well, whatever. Lisa shrugged. French kiss cheeks, meeting, no big deal. Sarah shook head. Lisa 10 years younger, age gap felt sharp. At 29, everything simpler than 42. At 29, believe talk solves any problem. At 42, know some things irreparable. Betrayal can't undo, trust shattered can't glue. Okay, won't bother. Lisa saw advice not liked. Hold on. Call any time. Sarah nodded, bent books again. Work, only work. Not think, not recall, not imagine him kissing hands that woman, that Rebecca Hart. Home early. Boss noticed state, let go sooner. Go home, Sarah. Look sick. Rest, Monday fresh. Home empty quiet. Kids out, note fridge. Mom gone. Emily movies till 7, me at Vince's till 8. Food microwave. Jake, Sarah peaked microwave, plate reheated dumplings. Imagine, son cared. Usually nothing matters, just berries tablet hours. But here prepped food. Maybe senses something. Kids always pick home vibe finer, even if not understand. No appetite. Sarah went to the bedroom and sat on the bed. What next? Could shower, change, could drink tea, calm nerves, could call mom or sister, talk, distract. But instead she opened the closet and stared at the hanging clothes. Old jeans, stretched sweaters, blouses bought 3 seasons ago, all so ordinary, homey, worn by life, like herself. Not a single pretty dressy thing, nothing to catch the eye, evoke admiration. Nothing to compete with the elegant beige suit of that woman from the cafe. Sarah closed the closet and approached the mirror. A tired face with shadows under the eyes looked back almost reproachfully. When was the last time she wore makeup not for a holiday, but just for herself, for her husband? When was the last time she went to the hairdresser? Not to trim ends, but for a new hairstyle. When was the last time she bought pretty lingerie, not practical cotton underwear from Walmart on sale? Many years ago, before Jake was born, when she was young, when she wanted to please, when appearance seemed to matter. And I'm to blame myself, Sarah suddenly thought. I stopped being a woman. Became just a function, mother, homemaker, cook, laundress. Robot that cooks, washes, cleans, checks homework. Stopped taking care of myself, stopped flirting with my husband, stopped being interesting. He just found what he was missing at home. No, stop. It's not her fault. It's his choice to lie, cheat, betray. 18 years together, 2 children. Couldn't he just talk, say, Sarah, something's missing in our relationship? Let's change something. Was it easier to start an affair on the side than to honestly admit his desires? Sarah opened the nightstand and took out the makeup box. Old, worn paint peeling. Inside mascara, shadows, lipstick, all cheap, bought at Target or from a friend. She opened the bright pink lipstick, almost unused. Bought a year ago but never dared to apply. seemed too bright for her age, for her position as a modest librarian. Now she suddenly wanted to put it on, in spite of everything. In spite of that Rebecca with the heart, in spite of David, who preferred another, in spite of her own fears and complexes. She carefully applied the lipstick, lined her eyes with pencil, lightly touched her cheeks with blush, let down her hair, brushed it, rummaged in the closet, and pulled out a dark blue wrap dress. Bought on sale 2 years ago and never worn. Where would I wear that? To the library, she thought then. Now it came in handy. The dress fit perfectly, accentuating what needed and hiding the extra. Sarah looked at her reflection in surprise. A different woman. Younger, prettier, more confident. It suddenly made her bitter that David hadn't seen her like this in years. She herself hadn't allowed him to see it. As if in response to her thoughts, the front door slammed in the hallway. Speak of the devil. Sarah, you home? David's voice sounded strange, excited, almost scared. Yes, she replied, coming out of the bedroom. David froze in the kitchen doorway upon seeing her. Something flashed in his eyes. Surprise, admiration, fear. You, he stumbled. You look so beautiful. Thanks, Sarah replied dryly. We need to talk, David. He swallowed, lowered his head, then suddenly straightened, squared his shoulders. Yes, we really do need to talk, he agreed, but not here. I want to show you something. What? She frowned. If you think I'm going somewhere with you, Sarah, please. There was something in his eyes that made her heart skip. Pleading, remorse. I'll explain everything, I promise. But not here. The walls are closing in. She hesitated. On one hand, the talk was supposed to happen today, here and now. On the other, what difference where to hear the confession of infidelity? Maybe it's easier for him this way. Maybe he wants to do it in a neutral place, no scene, so the kids coming back don't catch them arguing. Fine, she said finally, but not long. And I want to know where we're going. You'll see. He smiled faintly. This is that surprise I mentioned. Just bring your documents, okay? We'll need your ID there. ID? Odd. Why need ID for a talk? Maybe he's heading to the courthouse to file for divorce, or to a real estate office to divide property. Those thoughts made her nauseous, but Sarah nodded silently, went back to the bedroom and got her ID from the nightstand. Inside, everything froze in anticipation. Today something would happen, something important, pivotal. Today the fate of their marriage, their family, their life would be decided. And even if it's the end, so be it. Better a terrible end than endless fear. Better bitter truth than sweet lies. Sarah glanced at her reflection one more time, fixed her hair, and left the bedroom to meet the fate waiting behind the door. They drove in silence. David's old Chevy, as usual smelling of gas and pine air freshener, wound through city streets. Sarah looked out the window, trying to guess where they were headed. Downtown left behind, they hit the Beltway, past a gas station and Costco. Where are we going? Sarah couldn't hold back. To Pine Grove, David replied, eyes on the road. Pine Grove, a suburban gated community, new with even streets and neat houses behind high fences. Wealthy folks lived there, business owners, officials, company directors. What business did they have in Pine Grove? No relatives or acquaintances there. Why? Sarah frowned. You'll see, he glanced quickly at her. You look beautiful today, that dress. It really suits you. Sarah stayed silent. What good are compliments now, when everything's falling apart? When he's taking her to Pine Grove? Why? To introduce his mistress, show the house they bought together, explain he's leaving for another. Thoughts tangled, heart pounded, fingers nervously fiddled purse strap. The ID she took at David's request burned in her pocket. Why it? What documents are they signing? 20 minutes later, the car turned onto a wide avenue lined with young lindens. Fences stretched both sides, high, brick, with wrought iron gates. Behind them, roofs of two-story houses, solid, with attics and patios. Beautiful here, slipped from Sarah involuntarily. Yes, David nodded. I like it too. He slowed at one lot. New fence of light brown brick, neat wrought iron gates, behind them an unfinished house. Big, two-story with panoramic windows and wide porch. Walls up, roof on, but windows still filmed. Yard piles of construction debris. "We're here," David said, turning off the engine. "What is this?" Sarah didn't understand why they stopped at someone else's house. "Come on," he got out and opened her door. "I'll explain everything." They approached the gates. David pulled a key ring from his pocket, selected one, and unlocked. Gates creaked open. "Go ahead," he let Sarah through first. She stepped onto the property hesitantly. The lot was large, 15 acres at least. Left of house, freshly dug bed. Right, young apple trees just starting to bloom. "Whose house is this?" Sarah asked, feeling everything inside tighten from unknown anxiety. "Ours," David said simply. "Or will be, if you like it." Sarah froze in place. "Ours? In what sense ours?" With their modest salaries, they couldn't afford even a small condo on the outskirts, let alone a two-story cottage in a prestigious community. "I don't understand," she turned to her husband. "What do you mean ours?" David took a deep breath, as if steeling himself. "Let's go inside," he said. "They're waiting for us there." Waiting? Who was waiting in an unfinished house? Sarah's heart sank. Maybe a trap. Maybe he decided, no, nonsense. David never inclined to violence, adventures. Just absurd situation that would clarify now. They climbed the porch. David unlocked another lock. This time the front door. Massive, wooden, with wrought elements. Inside cool, smelled fresh plaster and paint. Spacious hall with high ceiling, wide staircase to second floor, large windows flooding evening light. "Come in," David pointed to open door left of hall. "That's the living room." Sarah stepped uncertainly as directed. Spacious room with panoramic windows to garden. Parquet floor, freshly painted walls, fireplace at far wall. And in this splendor, a set table. White tablecloth, candles, champagne bottle in ice bucket, fruits, 2 glasses. "What is this?" Sarah looked around, confused. "David, what's going on?" At that moment, footsteps sounded from house depths. Sarah turned and froze in amazement. In living room doorway stood David, exact copy her husband. Same height, features, wrinkles, eye corners. Only dressed different. Expensive suit, not usual denim jacket. Haircut shorter, neater. Sarah shifted gaze one to other. Absolutely identical, 2 Davids, like 2 peas. Second later, from behind second David's back peeked woman, same brunette from cafe in elegant beige suit with perfect makeup. "Hello, Sarah," she smiled. "Glad to finally meet you." Ground slipped away. Sarah felt falling, grabbed table edge. What's happening? Who these people? Why 2 identical men, one her husband? "I don't understand," she whispered. "David, what is this?" Her husband, one in denim jacket they arrived with, approached, gently took hand. "Sarah, meet Brian, my brother, my twin brother, and this his wife Rebecca." Twin brother, but David no brother. Only child. Died parents years ago. Never once, 18 years, marriage, David mentioned brother, but Sarah shifted gaze one to other. "But you have no brother." "You never said." "I do," the second David said. Brian stepped forward, extended hand. "We just hadn't spoken in years, almost 20. Sarah shook extended hand mechanically, palm warm, firm, exactly like David's. Same lines, same calluses from tools, only ring on ring finger heavy, gold dark stone. David never wore jewelry. "I don't understand," she repeated. "Why? Why never tell me about him?" David sighed, rubbed bridge nose. Gesture so familiar, so dear. "Complicated story, Sarah. Brian and I, we fought right before wedding over parents. Inheritance, some stupid stuff. He left for New York City. I stayed here. No contact since." "I was abroad," Brian interjected. "In Dubai, signing contract." "Learned too late." Then David hesitated, then didn't want stir past, talk you about him. Hurt too much. Sarah looked one to other. Twins, incredible resemblance. If not clothes, couldn't tell apart. "What changed now?" she asked quietly. "I came back," Brian said simply. "Business trip, my construction company in New York City. Decided mend ties, brother. Found him factory, talked. All those grudges, such nonsense. Life too short for feuds." "He called 2 weeks ago," David picked up. Shocked me. Met cafe, talked, didn't know tell you. Afraid wouldn't believe or think crazy. Sarah felt something snap inside. Cafe. 2 weeks ago saw them cafe. Saw David, no, not David, his brother Brian, table woman, his wife Rebecca. So it was you, turned Brian. Meeting Point Cafe, Rainbow Plaza Mall. Brian raised eyebrows, surprised. Yes, Rebecca and I lunch there often. Why? Nothing. Sarah shook head. Just saw you there. Thought David other woman. Awkward pause hung. Then Rebecca, silent till now, laughed that melodious, raspy laugh Sarah heard phone. God, what irony, exclaimed. Thought husband cheating own sister-in-law. Sarah felt blush flood face. Lord, what stupidity, absurd, funny, awful mistake. All time suffered, agonized, cried nights. For what? Two brothers, identical, decided reconcile after long feud. Yes, forced smile, turned out funny. But David not smiling. Looked worried. Sarah, said quietly, that's why so strange lately. Thought I? She nodded, unable to speak. Eyes stung tears. Relief, shame, joy, all mixed incredible cocktail emotions. Lord, David shook head. Should told right away, but wanted surprise. Surprise? Sarah looked uncomprehending. Yes. Gestured room. All this house, our house. Don't understand. Confused again. How our house? Can't afford. We can now, smiled, or very soon. Brian offered job company, here our city opening branch offered technical director position salary 4 times factory. And, Brian added, time restore justice. Parents died, inherited only apartment cause missed notary. Will split even, so returning your share, with interest years. Enough down payment house, rest mortgage, new salary manageable. Sarah stared, disbelieving ears. House, own house, dreamed years. What scrimped everything, saved every penny, denied small joys. This, real, whispered, not joking? No course. David hugged shoulders. Wanted surprise. Signed preliminary contract. Just your consent signature. Why asked ID, all fell place. New shirt, brother's gift. Women's perfume clothes. From Rebecca, met threesome. Phone call, woman's laugh. At Brian's hotel, discussing. Today's call, Rebecca Hart. Sister-in-law called, discuss surprise details. Why factory guard knew brother, I didn't? Sarah recalled suddenly. David embarrassed. Didn't know explain absences. Said first came mind, have brother town. Thought Uncle Carl doesn't know family, never tell. Then had improvise. Okay, Sarah sighed. Understand, but why not just truth? Wanted surprise, David repeated. Wanted see-face learn house, our house, one always dreamed. Rebecca, silent observing talk, approached. Wanted meet you, Sarah, said. My first sister-in-law. Hope friends. Sarah looked elegant woman before, one thought homewrecker, family destroyer. Now saw Rebecca, older than seemed cafe, not 38, all 45. Just good self-care, expensive clothes, confidence made younger. Hope too, Sarah said sincerely, just give time recover, all unexpected. Course, Rebecca smiled warmly, understand. Meanwhile, celebrate, champagne cooling. Brian went table, deftly uncorked bottle. Cork popped. Sparkling wine foamed glasses. 4 glasses, 4 smiles, 4 lives, just sharp turn. To meeting, Brian raised glass. New house, new life. To family, David added, hugging Sarah's shoulders. Our big family. They drank. Sarah felt champagne bubble tongue, light buzz rise head. All good. Better dreamed. Not infidelity, betrayal, family crash, opposite, gain, expansion, new chances. But deep inside, unwelcome thought pricked. Why believed worst right away? Why thought David cheating, not trusted, not talked straight? 18 years together, such distrust. Her fault, maybe not close enough husband, couldn't tell brother. Maybe too distant, bogged routine, work, raising kids. Thoughts shelve later, now no time self-digging doubts. Now rejoice, celebrate, meet new relatives. All talks David later, alone, home, when first emotion wave subsides, everything settles. Cool kids, Sarah remembered suddenly. They know. Imagine Jake surprised 2 dads. Yes, David laughed. Emily faint. They glanced each other, laughed simultaneously. Like good old days, no suspicions, fears, omissions. Just husband-wife, just loving people. Brian raised glass new toast. To you, said. Strongest couple, no. Davy told so much you, Sarah. What wonderful wife, mother, hold family despite hardships. Glad finally meet. Sarah smiled embarrassed, looked David, met eyes such love, tenderness, heart ached. How doubt him, how believe capable betrayal? To love, said quietly, raising glass, stronger doubts. And family just got bigger. That moment understood all good. New life ahead, new house, new chances, new relatives. Most important, love through distrust trial, stronger. Home returned late, 11. Evening new house stretched. Toured rooms, discussed future layout, shared furniture interior ideas. Brian showed landscape design project yard. Rebecca told best kitchen order. All time Sarah felt odd unreality, like another's dream or life. Car ride home silent. But different silence, not heavy, laced unspoken suspicions like before, calm, cozy. Held hands, Sarah felt his palm warmth. So familiar, dear. Kids back, haul Emily's shoes, Jake's sneakers, muffled TV from room. We're home, David called, helping Sarah coat. Finally, Emily peeked room. Starting worry, Jake even suggested call police. Police? Sarah surprised. Not missing. Not answering. Emily shrugged. Table note out business. What business Friday night? Sarah realized indeed missed calls, phone purse, absorbed events, not checked. Most important business, David smiled mysteriously. Byway, news you. 2 news, but tomorrow, late now. What news? Emily alerted. Dad, now. Won't sleep not knowing. Tomorrow, David firm. Call Jake, interesting him too. Buried shooters, daughter snorted. Can't tear away. Okay, morning. But no up 7, even Saturday. Went room, Sarah David glanced, smiled involuntarily. Emily always, curious, impatient, emotional. Took after Mum. Tea, Sarah asked, kitchen, after 2 champagne glasses, head spun bit, wanted hot, soothing. Sure, David nodded. No sugar, overdid today. She put kettle, sat table, watching husband get cups, cabinet habitual motion. Done so many times, shared life, but today all seemed new. Like rediscovering after long separation. Really thought cheating, David asked suddenly, not turning. Sarah flinched, hoped postpone talk least morning, emotions settle, excitement subside. Yes, admitted honestly. Thought, turned, pain eyes. Why? What did make suspect? All together, Sarah sighed. Work delays, secret calls, new shirt. Then saw cafe her, Rebecca, decided mistress. Voice bewildered. What supposed think? Shrugged. Beautiful groomed woman, younger me. Kiss hand, look loving eyes. Turned not you, twin brother, existence no idea. Kettle boiled, clicked off quietly. David poured boiling water cups, set table. My fault, said quietly. Should told right away. About Brian, offer, house, wanted surprise, thought happy. Am happy, Sarah smiled faintly. Just nearly went mad worries. Sat opposite, took hands. Forgive, said seriously eyes. Didn't think could, decide. Anyway, idiot. Complete idiot. Not argue, smiled involuntarily, but me too. Should asked straight, silent, suffered, tormented suspicions, spun scary scenarios head. Even packed suitcase, imagine, planned go Jenny Albany. Suitcase? David paled. Seriously leave? Was, Sarah nodded. Morning saw call Rebecca Hart, decided can't endure, need talk open either clear or leave. God, rubbed face palms. No idea drove you. Should just, talk you know, squeezed hand. Works both ways, David. Should told me brother, work, house, family, decide together, not you secretly signing contracts, taking leave. No, nodded guilty. Stupid, just no, wanted please. After years scrimping, all house talks couldn't afford. Thought thrilled. Am thrilled, Sarah smiled. House wonderful. New job, Brian, Rebecca, all great. Happy us. Just promise no secrets, okay? No surprises my nerves cost. Promise, brought hand lips, kissed. Swear, no more secrets. Silent, sipping tea. Rain started outside. Fine, spring, tapping sill. Kids' room music quieted, settled finally. No, Sarah said thoughtfully. Moment glad happened. Story made understand lot. Self, us, relationship. What understand? David asked, fingering hair. Bogged routine, everyday problems, stopped real talk, surprising each other. Stopped self-care. You closed off, existed side by side. But loved, objected. Loved, Sarah agreed. Stopped showing, stopped important words, small surprises, pleasing each other. Lost routine. Now? David propped elbow, peering face dark. Live different, said firmly, no more just function. Mother, wife, homemaker. Want woman beautiful, interesting, loved. Wear dresses more, hairstyles, makeup. Not holidays, just self, you. You, said seriously. Talk more, share soul. Not close off. Promise, joked hand up oath. Spill all, even not want no. Laughed, Sarah felt last day's tension release. All good, better could. What think Rebecca? David asked suddenly. Like her? Sarah pondered. What think woman yesterday thought husband's mistress, hated sight unseen, compared self, lost all points? Interesting, said cautiously. Elegant, successful, bit cool maybe? Don't know, little talked. Business lady, David nodded. Own law firm New York City, but closer, very warm, soulful. Think friends. See, Sarah not sure, too different. Small-town librarian, big city business lady. When move new house? Well, house not fully ready. David stretched, loosening stiff shoulders. Need finish interior, run utilities. Brian says 3-4 months. But fall, think, move in. If course liked everything. Liked, Sarah nodded. Head not wrap yet. Years dreamed, saved, planned. Suddenly, bam, all comes true. Not suddenly, David countered. Deserved, Sarah. Labor, patience, 18 years modest, scrimped everything. Right happiness. Stood, circled table, hugged behind shoulders. Sarah leaned his arms, closed eyes. Good all resolved this way. Good fears unfounded. Tell kids tomorrow, said. House, Brian, Rebecca. Imagine surprise. Emily go nuts joy, David chuckled. Already see planning room, wallpaper, curtains, furniture, all latest fashion. Yes, Sarah smiled. Jake request game console room right away. How refuse now? Have allow. David kissed crown, housewarming. Little more kitchen, building future plans. Then David bathroom, Sarah cleared table, checked kids. Asleep? Jake snoring pillow sprawled, blanket off. Sarah fixed blanket, stroked son's tousled head. Soon own room, soon all new house, new life. Emily not asleep, lay phone scrolling internet. Mom tell news, pleaded seeing mother. Won't sleep curious. Morning dear, Sarah smiled, promise like. Sleep now, late. Returned bedroom, changed nightgown, dress. Same dark blue wrap. Hung carefully hanger. Brought luck. Wear more now. David back bathroom, smelling toothpaste deodorant. Lay beside, pulled Sarah close. So afraid lose you, said quietly suddenly. Told Suitcase, imagined leaving, like ice water doused. 18 years, suddenly crashes stupid misunderstanding, my secrets, silly, stroked cheek. Wouldn't left anyway, couldn't. Love too much. Me you. Kissed tenderly, trembling like early marriage years. Very, very. Lay dark, listening rain outside each other's breath. Sarah felt warmth spread body, calm, good now. After all upheavals, doubts, fears. No, said quietly. Moment glad happened. Story forced understand much. Self, us, relations. What understand? Asked, fingering her hair. We too, mired in daily life, too stuck in routine problems, stopped talking truly, stopped surprising each other. I stopped caring for myself. You withdrew into yourself. We just coexisted side by side. But we loved each other, he objected. We did, agreed Sarah, but we stopped showing it. Stopped saying the important words, making little surprises, delighting each other. Got lost in the grind. And now? He propped up on his elbow, peering at her face in the darkness. Now we'll live differently, she said firmly. I don't want to be just a function anymore, mother, wife, housekeeper. I want to be a woman, beautiful, Interesting, loved. I'll wear dresses more often, do hairstyles, put on makeup. Not just for holidays, but just because, for myself, for you. And you have to talk to me more, share what's on your soul. Don't close yourself off. I promise, he said seriously. I give my word. They lay embraced a long time more, talking about everything, fears and dreams, future plans, kids, new house. Talked like hadn't years, openly, sincerely, no holding back. Outside rain fell, soft spring, washing away old unnecessary, clearing space new life beginning. Emily kept word, woke exactly 7 morning, despite weekend, started waking parents. Pounded bedroom door, called hallway. Mom, Dad, enough sleep. Promised tell news. Sarah pried eyes open. After yesterday's excitement's long talk, David crashed past midnight, now felt wrecked. Beside husband stirred, grumbled. Emily mercy. Saturday, yeah. Promised yesterday. Daughter cracked door, poked head gap. Come on up. Kettle on, no escape. Sarah sat bed, rubbed eyes. Okay, coming. Let wash. 15 minutes later, kitchen, sleepy, smiling. Emily bustled stove, frying eggs. When wanted, very domestic. Jake, sister dragged force, sat glum over tea, yawning occasionally. Well tell, Emily, demanded impatiently, setting egg plates parents. What news so important? Sarah glanced husband. How explain kids all yesterday? Where start? First, David sipped tea, you uncle. My twin brother, Brian. Emily froze fork hand. Jake lifted sleepy eyes cup. Joking, daughter shook head disbelieving. What twin? No brother. Does, Sarah smiled. Just learned yesterday ourselves. How learned, Jake fully awake. Dad didn't know brother? Knew, course. David shook head. Just hadn't talked years. Fought young, each own path, now reconciled. Exactly like Dad. Emily wide eyes. Like movie, right? One face. Absolutely. Sarah nodded. Myself saw, nearly fainted. Thought seeing double. Wow, Jake perked. Where lives? When see. Today, David smiled. Come wife lunch. By way, name Rebecca, eager meet. No own kids. Came specially reconcile you, Emily asked, serving self eggs. Not quite. David glanced wife. Brian business, construction company, opening branch here, city. Offered technical director position, like boss, Jake clarified. Sort, father nodded. Good salary, much more factory. Leaving factory? Emily frowned. What seniority? Worked life there? 23 years, David sighed, but sometimes change, sweetie. Especially opportunity. Second news, Jake reminded, devouring eggs. Said 2 news, Sarah smiled. Second even better. We buying house. Fork clattered Emily's hand. House? Exclaimed. Real house? Yard all? Realist, David nodded. 2-story, Pine Grove, big kitchen, separate rooms each, patio garden. Went see yesterday, move fall. No way, Emily shook head. Making up. Where money? Partly inheritance grandparents, David explained. Brian returned share, partly mortgage, pay new salary. No kidding, Jake jumped excitement. Own room. Put computer. Yes, Sarah smiled. Desk homework, closet clothes, whatever want. Me too, Emily jumped. Own room. Choose wallpaper, furniture, curtains. Course, David patted daughter's head. Wallpaper, curtains, furniture, whatever. Just no, not money all once. Furnish gradually. Wait fine. Emily bounced chair. Main, own room. No tired Jake snoring, socks everywhere. You, brother indignant, not tired brushes all over. From phone chatter midnight? So that's where you went far yesterday. Emily ignored brother's outrage. We going crazy, Jake suggested call police. Didn't suggest, Jake grumbled. Just said if not back midnight, do something. Anyway, Sarah tapped fork cup, calling quiet. Today 2 o'clock, Uncle Brian, Aunt Rebecca come. Meet, lunch, chat. So bake pies. Jake, clean corner please. Shameful guests. Course kids nodded sink, rare them. And, David warned, don't freak seeing Uncle Brian. Looks lot like me. Very, first bit weird. Not babies, Dad, Emily snorted. No twins. After breakfast, apartment buzzed activity. Sarah Emily kitchen magic. Dough pies, peel potato salad, marinate meat baking. David Jake tidied rooms, moved furniture, dusted, took week trash. Noon Sarah sent husband store champagne, fruits, candies. Herself got festive tablecloth, usually big holidays, crystal glasses, wedding gift colleagues, barely used 18 years. Mum, Aunt Rebecca, what like? Emily asked, helping roll dough pie. Pretty? Very, Sarah nodded, recalling elegant brunette perfect manicure. Elegant. Business lady, own law firm New York City. Wow, Emily sighed dreamily. Want pretty successful moneyed too. First pass exams, Sarah smiled, or what business lady D math? English major, daughter countered. Math no use. Aunt Rebecca needed, Sarah noted. Balance books, accounting, check contracts. Emily pondered, rolling dough mechanically. Okay, study summer. Maybe Uncle Brian pay tutor, since rich. Emily, Sarah indignant, ashamed. Can't jump new relatives' necks. Joking, daughter embarrassed. Just curious, Uncle Brian like. If really Dad's copy, so weird. Weird, Sarah agreed, recalling shock two identical men. But get used. Besides, characters different. Way speak, move, even voices differ slightly. Listen. Exactly 2 doorbells rang. Sarah, changed same dark blue wrap dress, fixed hair, went open. Threshold Brian Rebecca, dressed up, huge bouquet, bags gifts. Good day, Rebecca smiled warmly, decided not empty-handed. Come in. Sarah stepped aside, letting guests. David, kids, meet. Emily peeked room, froze mouth open, followed Jake, froze, shifting gaze father-uncle back. No way. Emily exhaled. You like? Clones. Emily? Sarah scolded. Can't say. Fine, Brian laughed, extending hand meet. No offense. Hi, niece. Uncle Brian. Hello. Emily shyly shook hand, still eyeing Uncle. Nice meet. Jake greeted too, less shy. More interested gift bags Brian set hall. What's there? Nodded bags. Jake, David scolded. Son. What questions? Rude. All fine, Rebecca smiled, elegant cream suit turquoise scarf. Gifts indeed. Maybe give now. Sarah led guest's room, sat couch. David poured champagne adults, juice kids. Brian raised glass. To acquaintance, family reunion. After toast gifts time, Jake got brand new tablet. Way cooler old. Boy gasped delight, forgot thank, started unboxing. Jake, Sarah hissed. What say? Thanks, Uncle Brian. Aunt Rebecca. Son rattled, eyes glued tablet. Best gift world. Emily given large flat box, unwrapped carefully, gasped. Inside dress, soft blue silver trim, light cloud. This, me, whispered, lifting dress. Prom, Rebecca smiled. David said dream pretty outfit. Hope size fits. Don't know say. Emily clutched dress chest, like fairy tale. Try, Sarah suggested. Now, Emily ran bathroom. Rebecca meantime pulled another bag. This you, Sarah. Extended pretty box. Me personally. Woman. Sarah flustered. Not expected gift self. Opened carefully. Froze. Inside luxurious silk shawl hand-painted. Soft shades blue-green blending. Pattern like sea waves. Beautiful. Sarah exhaled, unfolding shawl. But why? Can't accept expensive gift. Can should, Rebecca said softly insistent. Now relative, love spoil kin. Sarah wanted argue, but Emily fluttered room new dress. Glowing, prettier, suddenly adult. Mom, Dad, look. Twirled, hem flared like butterfly wings. Perfect, absolutely perfect. Gorgeous, Brian said sincerely, just like Mom Young. Well thanks, Sarah mock indignant. So already, old lady? Prettier ever, David interjected, hugging wife's shoulders. Dress suits perfect. Next 3 hours flew instant. Lunched, talked, laughed. Brian told New York City life, business, plans, local branch growth. Rebecca shared law practice stories, gave Emily college advice. Jake, finally tearing tablet, peppered Uncle questions capital, cars, computers. Sarah watched quiet joy. Family, small yesterday, suddenly grew, expanded. New ties, new opportunities, new horizons. Kids livened, cheered. David looked 10 years younger. Beside brother-like returned youth, more energetic, open. After lunch, men balcony smoke, discuss business. Emily dragged Jake room, show new tablet works. Sarah Rebecca left kitchen alone, clear table, wash dishes. Wonderful children, Rebecca said, carefully wiping crystal glasses. Well-mannered, smart. Thanks, Sarah smiled, stacking plates sink. Try. We didn't time, Rebecca sighed. All work, career, now late. Why late? Sarah surprised. You're... Faltered, not knowing Rebecca's real age. 46, hinted light smile. No hide. My age bit late first child. Brian, not eager, says, fine us. Understand, Sarah nodded, though not really. Couldn't imagine life without kids, without fuss, yells, problems, joys. But now nieces, nephews, almost own. Yes, Rebecca beamed. So glad reconciled David, Brian brother again, me new family. No, quite alone New York City. Brian's parents gone, mine Seattle. See once year, here brother, nieces, nephews, you? First jealous you, Sarah confessed suddenly, not knowing why. Thought husband's mistress. Rebecca laughed, that melodious, raspy laugh once scared Sarah phone. Optical illusion, said. Me too, confused first. Imagine, come hotel room, David instead, Brian. Nearly fainted, thought hallucinations, then realized twin. Anyway, understand, little more chatted work, kids, summer plans. Rebecca, simple, pleasant talk, no arrogance, no superiority Sarah secretly feared. Yes, dressed expensive taste. Yes, spoke confident, clear, like leader. But felt soulful warmth, sincerity, can't buy money. No dream? Rebecca said suddenly, arranging clean cups. Move new house, Brian. I come weekends, holidays. Gather big family, one table, cook together, talk, laugh. Like today, even better. Own house, fireplace, patio. No, never sister. You somehow feel known 100 years. Sarah smiled. Strangely, felt similar. This elegant, successful woman, yesterday enemy, homewrecker, family destroyer, today almost kin. Maybe eyes Sarah saw same longing family warmth, ties, often felt herself. Definitely, Sarah said firmly, move new house, Brian, you first guests. Then regularly, holidays, birthdays, just weekends, promise. When guests finally leaving, almost 8 o'clock in the evening. Emily didn't want part aunt, already friends, swapped numbers, planned shopping next week. Jake swore uncle not overdue new tablet, finish school year well. Come again, Brian soothed nieces and nephews. Day after tomorrow bring all Pine Grove, show lot, discuss room layouts, then see often. Working here now, not New York City. Finally, farewells and other thanks, warm welcome, guests left. Sarah closed door, leaned wall, feeling odd mixed fatigue, euphoria. Well, like, David asked, hugging shoulders. Brother, wife, wonderful, Sarah said sincerely. Really didn't expect click quick. Told you, David smiled. Brian sometimes seems stern, really softy. Rebecca pure gold. No specially picked gifts, each taste. Asked what kids like, please you. Noticeable, Sarah nodded, recalling luxurious shawl perfectly picked Emily's dress. Tried, moment Emily burst room, still new dress. Mum, Dad, blurted, can skip school Monday. Aunt Rebecca invited salon, hairstyle, manicure, match prom. Please, please, please. Sarah glanced husband. Monday math quiz, reminded. Said yourself. Rewrite. Emily pleaded, hands clasped. Swear, arrange Mrs. Victoria, please, Mum. Aunt Rebecca said very good salon. Hard get. Arranged her stylist. Okay, Sarah gave, only if arrange quiz. No slack after. Study twice hard. Thanks, thanks, thanks. Emily hugged parents. Best, call Maggie, she'll die envy. Darted room, Sarah shook head. Spoil, salons, dresses, manicures, not used. Let indulge, David shrugged. Soon college, adult life starts. Let enjoy now. Evening, kids' bed, Jake new tablet pillow, Emily dress neatly hung hanger over bed, Sarah David balcony. Evening warm, quiet, music somewhere far. Neighbor yard kids laughed. Road rare cars noise. Still can't believe, Sarah said quietly, staring starry sky. All changed fast. Day before yesterday, thought family crumbling, cheating, over. Today, new relatives, new house horizon, new job you. Life unpredictable. David hugged shoulders. But no unchanging? What? Turned him. Love you, said simply. 18 years ago now, 18 years hence. Always. Sarah nestled him, feeling simple words tears well, but not bitter, heavy, like recent days. Light, bright, happy tears, relief, joy. Love you, whispered, hugging husband. Always loved, always will. Stood long, embraced, gazing stars, breathing spring air, full hopes, promises. Ahead, new life, happier, fuller, realer. Life deserved, life built together despite hardships. That story, optical illusion, mistaken suspicions, pain fears, left past. Like nightmare dissipates first sun rays, like fog melts, revealing beautiful landscape. Gazing native city lights, dark sky, scattered stars, Sarah thought sometimes create problems ourselves. Often see doesn't exist, miss right eyes. Easy lose dearest distrust, misunderstanding, inability talk. Never again. Vowed self, no more omissions, no secrets, no suspicions. Only trust, only love, only truth. David like heard thoughts. No, said quietly. Thought surprising house, brother. Rest. Actually got biggest surprise myself. What? Sarah asked, raising eyes him. Realized how much love me, said seriously. Told suffered, thinking cheating. Awful suffered. But same time showed how much mean. Realized no right risk, no right make, suffer even surprise. No, agreed smile, so no more secrets. Good? None. Kissed forehead. Swear, somewhere far city hall clock struck. 10 evening, time back house, check kids, ready bed. Ahead new day, first day new happy life. Sarah knew whatever next, trials await future, cope together. Now no barriers between, no omissions, no distrust. Only love, one overcomes hardships, forgives mistakes, sees truth even through optical illusion. If you liked the story, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It motivates us to create new and interesting stories every day. Don't miss the new video you'll see right now on the main screen. All the best and be happy.